Welcome back to Where Whites Walk. We are, of course, live minutes after the final whistle on Merseyside as Leeds draw 1-1 with Everton. We've got Jacob and Chris back here who are quite frustrated and, it's quite angry about that particular result. Should have been 3 points, should have been more goals than one, but just leave with one at the end. And given the results this weekend with West Ham and Forest winning, is that an opportunity missed? Great to have your company back with us. If you missed us last week, apologies. We're ill with man flu, so hopefully we're fighting fit this week. Right, Jacob, who's that result on?
I think, Tanaka, I think, doesn't even track his man, comes on, looks lost. First half was excellent. Should have probably been definitely 2-0 up. Calvert-Lewin hitting the post. A few other chances, a few other moments. And then second half, I get we're trying to preserve the lead. 3 points are the most important thing at the end of the day. But if we'd played the way we did in the first half, of course, Everton are going to put pressure on us. But we just sat back, invited them to, put pressure on us, and the goal was going to come eventually.
Chris, same question.
Yeah, I sort of disagree there. I think first half, we could have been out of sight. Calvert-Lewin obviously very unlucky. But I think the second half we played it really well. I know they changed their formation, they brought the pressure on us, but we'd restricted them to playing outside the box. They'd not really done anything. They'd not really looked threatening at all. And then obviously we brought Tanaka on for Gruev, and like Jacob said, he looked lost. He was, he could have set Aronson away a minute before the goal. Probably wouldn't have come of anything, but it wouldn't have gone out for a throw-in, which obviously then led to the Everton goal, where he again then didn't track his man. And I think you can say we sort of sat back, which we did, but I think if Tanaka just tracks his man properly, we win the game, in my opinion, because Everton didn't really do anything else besides that crossbar, which was outside the box anyway. So,
Yeah, let us know your thoughts and do comment if you're watching this live. We'll get your views on what's happened there. I mean, a point away at Everton's not a bad point, Jacob, is it? Let's be fair to the grand scheme of things. But is it the results this weekend that have just twisted the fan base just a little bit into that more nervousness? I mean, I think it was Chris yourself tweeting this weekend, we have to beat Everton given these results.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, with being 1-0 up and the way we were in the first half, that Calvert-Lewin chance, obviously, we just touched upon. But a point away isn't bad. You take it, obviously, and 6 points clear of West Ham now is obviously nice. But, they're getting a bit of momentum. Forest as well, winning away at Brentford, tough place to go. So, it's definitely points dropped, I think, but you have to take it at the end of the day.
Chris, lots of people coming online saying Farke's fault this one. His subs are too late again in game management. People are posting, that's now Sunderland, Brentford, United, where you've been in front and then sat back and lost leads. Do you hear that point of view?
I was a very big critic of Farke earlier in the season, but I don't blame him for this. I think he did make subs late, but again, like I've said, the game plan was working really well, and I think we made the sub of Tanaka because Gruev was on a yellow. He was looking a little bit tired. Tanaka's obviously the reason we conceded the goal, and then we start to play a little bit better. And then obviously we did make the subs, and it did change the game. I think it was then more in our favour. Could the subs have come a bit early? Like maybe 5 minutes, yes, but I don't think there was a need to throw 3 or 4 or 5 bodies on at the 70th minute when we were, quite comfortable.
Right. In terms of the subs, Jacob, did he get them right? Get the timing, but would you have wanted anything different?
I think it was fine. I think Okafor did all right coming on, to be fair. Longstaff, he had a good chance as well if he took his time a little bit more, but it's just little nitpicky things, to be fair. I personally think they came a bit too late. I would have liked to, yes, we're sitting back, we're preserving the lead, but, just maybe go for it, chuck on a few attackers. Bonanosse looked okay again, but nothing special. We didn't get to see too much of him. Obviously, he only came off for 5 minutes, so not long enough to really judge him, but would have been nice for a few more changes earlier on, but I can see why they weren't brought on earlier.
Was Okafor rightfully dropped, Chris?
No, and I say that because I think Aronson should have played in the middle instead of Gruev, and I think Okafor should have stayed up top, unless you were going to move Aronson up there and bring Buonanotte in. But if the answer is, do I think Okafor should have been dropped so we could keep Gruev in the team? I do not.
Yeah. What about you, Jacob? Lots of fans moaning on when the lineup was announced that, what dirt does Gruev have on Farke? Honestly, how's he keeping his place?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I didn't think he was bad, but again, doesn't really offer you much going forward. Breaks up the play okay. But I would have liked to seen Aronson in that midfield position. Definitely, I think he's probably more effective there. An Okafor or Mecha gives you that kind of bit more aerial presence up top. It could be a bit more of a nuisance, and things. So, but I guess it's nice to have that squad depth now and that balance and things when the team's playing well and whatever. But I just think it was just an unlucky second half today.
That sort of game that Goodmanson would relish, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, but take nothing away from James Justin, who was fantastic. And I think, Justin played as well as Goodmanson would have, and probably was in a better position because I don't think Goodmanson would have been in the place to score the goal. So I think we've got three incredible fullbacks, but I don't think they're the problem. I think defensively we're pretty solid.
Going to need to be this weekend, aren't we, then, Jacob? Arsenal at Ellen Road. Does it make it worse that they've just lost?
Yeah, I mean, bit of a free hit, but I guess the thing we can take is that we're at home. I think it's 3:00, isn't it? So not under the lights, but I mean that's always confident coming into it. You're at home against a team who's lost, but they're top of the league for a reason. They're a brilliant side. They're top of the league in the Champions League as well, so it's going to be a very, very tough game. And I think having this 6-point gap has made this kind of, I mean, it's a free hit anyway, but a bit more kind of relaxing. Let's just see what we can get out of it. Let's go at them and let's just not get battered.
Okay, because it's 1 win in 6 now, but we have to take into account that does include games against some tough opposition there. Are you starting to get a little bit nervous again? I mean, you were 10 points above West Ham a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because you look at the run and you say, okay, it's 1 win in 6, but it's 1 defeat in, 9, 10, 11? I'm not too sure, but we are a different team to the team at the start of the season, and the team at the start of the season are the reason where we are. I believe if we played how we'd played the entire season, how we're playing now, I think we'd be an extra 6, 7, 8 points better off, and I think we'd be around Sunderland's position. Of course, I'm nervous because West Ham look like they're playing a lot better. They've obviously spent a lot of money in Jan as well. They're really going for it. Forest, I think they've got Sean Dyche, who he knows how to survive relegation, and obviously we've got some tricky games coming up, and obviously the Forest game is a massive doubleheader in a couple of weeks. But I think we should still be the favourites. It's still 6 points to West Ham, and I know Arsenal's a free hit, but I think our home form is good enough that we should at least give them a game. It shouldn't be like how we played against them away.
We've got an Everton fan here says you never trusted Bally. I thought Groove did all right, and I'd like Bogle at Everton. Yeah, I'd say you guys are good. You're better than Forest and West Ham. Yeah, good luck. Cheers, fan. Appreciate that. Do you think you are better than Forest and West Ham? Certainly on paper, you would argue that the Forest squad is better than yours, Leeds. Better than the Leeds squad, Jacob, wouldn't you? But
yeah, I would, but then I think those two clubs have been in the Prem for a while. They've kind of got more established squads. Obviously, they're spending a bit of money as well. Forest being in Europe and whatever. So I do think about it that way. But then I look at us and think how we've been playing, especially this when we change formation, change shape. And I think we're the side who deserves to stay up at this moment in time. But it's not about now. It's about that last game at West Ham and where we are then.
Yeah. you think Palace and Tottenham are safe, Chris? At the moment?
I think Spurs are safe because it doesn't matter how bad Spurs are; they're never going to go down, are they? Palace, however, I think that one of the reasons I really wanted to win tonight is because it would have dragged Palace right into it. It would have just been us and them tied on goal difference.
Yeah.
And I think they've got a pretty difficult run, and they just look out of sorts. They've got a manager that doesn't want to be there. Clearly, they've got players that don't want to be there and aren't playing well. They've just lost their best player, so I think they could be in real trouble. And part of me still thinks West Ham and Forest are too good to go down, which obviously leaves us. But I don't think we deserve to go down either. So maybe Palace.
The transfer window is still open for another 7 days, isn't it? It slams shut next Monday before Sunderland play Burnley. Strand Larson, Jacob, what's your view on what's going on there?
I mean, I don't really know. I'm a bit 50-50. I think if we bring him in, he partners up top with Calvert-Lewin. It's got the potential to be great. But for the prices that I'm seeing, I'm not too convinced. I don't think it's needed. Metcha's bagged a few goals. Okafor's bagged a few goals. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin's been brilliant. Is Strand Larson going to be groundbreaking? Is he going to be any better than the two that we've got? I just think the thing that's putting me off is the price tag, really. And I saw his penalty a few weeks ago, and I'm not convinced. So he won't be on pens, that's for sure. But I just think the price that I'm seeing, 35-40 million, is I just don't think it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, is he that good, Chris? 30 million.
I think he's a very good player. I think we saw that last season when Cunha kept getting banned, and he stepped up. I don't think he's worth the price tag, and I don't think Wolves will get that price tag from us. I don't think we'll pay it. But part of me also wants to sign him because I think if we don't, another relegation contender will. And he would definitely strengthen us than weaken us. And it's just another big lad to play up top with Calvert-Lewin.
Okay. Any other faces you expect to come through the door in terms of personnel, Chris, between now and Monday?
It's hard to say with Leeds because they're very much open about operating a one-in, one-out policy. And I feel like Peru would have been the one to go, but he's very adamantly stated that he doesn't want to leave. So I think if Peru doesn't go, we don't sign a striker, and I don't think we'll sign anything else, depending on, I suppose, Goodmanson's issue. We might need to sign another fullback, but it really depends. Leeds don't ever leak any news, do they? So you never know.
And just a word on Jack Harrison, Jacob, after Fiorentina on loan.
Yeah, glad to see him go, to be fair. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out for him at Leeds. Not really going to fit in. Didn't offer anything coming off the bench. Was brilliant under Bielsa in the Championship, yes, but ever since he, fobbed us off to stay in the Premier League, and then when we get promoted, wants to come back. I don't think it's good for the club or for him to really stay around. So, I have to see what he does at Fiorentina. But I don't think there was really any place for him in this squad, unfortunately.
I didn't think we've seen the last of him in the Leeds shirt, Chris.
Yeah, of course we have, because I think if we stay up, we'll sell him. I don't think there's a way that he comes back into the squad if he can't even get a place in a team that's fighting for relegation. He's not going to get a place in a team that's then trying to become an established Prem team. And if we go down, I'm pretty sure he would want to leave anyway. So, yeah, he's done.
We've been doing the A to Z of Leeds United over the last 13 or so weeks. We're up to the letter M. So before we get into that one, we've been thinking about managers, M for managers as well. I want to ask you both, who's the best manager for Leeds that you've watched in your lifetime? Not in terms of success, in terms of promotions or championships, but in terms of the style of play, the most exciting brand of football you've seen. I know there's an obvious answer to that, but I'm interested to get your kind of views. We'll do the worst managers next week, so you can put those in the comments. But the best brand of football, Jacob, you've ever seen at Leeds has been managed by
Bielsa, 100%. I don't think there's any questions answered with that. Just brilliant. That first game at Stoke against home, I was thinking, what on earth is this? this isn't the Leeds I've grown up watching. And then from then on, it was just beautiful. It was his style of play, so aggressive, so attractive to watch, and the players he signed to play that brand of football just fitted it so perfectly. So yeah, Bielsa without a doubt.
Okay, Chris?
Yeah, I echo what Jacob said. I just think, a lot of the time, especially in the Prem, it was very much score more than you concede or concede more than you score. And I just think, if we're going off entertainment, I think there were very few games that weren't entertaining under Bielsa. And obviously, I think given both our ages, there aren't too many successful Leeds managers that go that far back.
Yeah, fair enough. People in the comments will say, well, Howard Wilkinson, I'm sure, as well, whose brand of football was quite good as well, wasn't it? Yeah, I can trust that to Warnock's style, and others that you've had in between all of that. Brilliant. Right then, letter M, Jacob. Have you got any good ones for us?
I've got Don Matteo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, who scored a goal at the San Siro. So I'm going to go with Don Matteo, one of my dad's favourite players, I think. So go with him.
Good, decent shout, Chris.
I think I'll go Nigel Martin, just because I still think he's the greatest goalkeeper that this club's ever had. And obviously he was before my time, but it doesn't take a genius to see the keepers we've had since I've been around.
Yeah. Good Everton link there as well, because he's one of my favourite goalkeepers at Everton as well. We joined decent shouts. Right, in the comments then, who we missed out for the letter M, surname begin with M, the best ever Leeds player who deserves to get into the A to Z. Right, thank you very much, you two. Appreciate your comments this week, especially coming straight back from watching the game. Join us next week as we review the Arsenal game. Should be definitely a good watch, that. We'll be tuning in for that one, certainly. And next week we'll talk about the worst ever managers as well. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next week.